Go ahead. Make my day.
Long live the king. You killed him. No. I am your father.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. Ah!
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hello everyone, it is Obsi 2000 here at Odds and Ends Gaming, and we're doing a movie corner discussion of the movie Pearl that just came out. I am here with Augie the Froggy.
Hey.
And Nickolas Zombie.
Hello.
Yes, so this movie just came out Friday. We saw it as of today's Sunday, 2 days after it just came out. And if you didn't know, Pearl is a prequel sequel to the movie X. And
I guess it's prequel, right? I guess prequel sequel.
Yeah, it came out after technically a sequel, but it's a prequel to the sequel or to the X. But yeah, Borderlands has a prequel sequel game, so we'll go with prequel sequel.
Yeah, but all the events take place before X.
Yes.
It doesn't do a Godfather 2 or Twin Peaks where it takes place a little bit, most of it before and then some of it after, and then all of it is before the events of X.
I'm happy about. I'm tired of these time hopping storylines.
I don't mind the time hopping.
I think it's overdone.
If it's done good, it's all right.
Didn't Tarantino do time hopping?
Yeah, but since then it's just been really overdone. But anywho, that's another topic for another time.
My favorite time hopping is when it's like a record scratching. You're probably wondering how I got here.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So anyway, Pearl.
Yes.
What did we all think of Pearl? Augie, go.
Pearl is by director Ty West. So you always got to tell who the director is. Ty West.
Is that a proper
what?
Like video thing? I guess so. Yeah.
You got to give credit where credit is due, and whether it's deserved or it's not deserved, or if it's shit or not shit.
It's also written by the actress and Ty West.
Yeah, that's what I saw. So I wasn't aware that Mia Goth, the main star.
Yeah.
Who was also the main character in X?
Yes. X had more of a cast, I guess, than this one.
This one's much smaller, and that's probably due to pandemic reasons.
But this was, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, I'm becoming a Ty West fanboy. Like I don't know. Like
more than Jordan
like his
Peele?
shit. Yeah, more than Jordan Peele. Like for every Jordan Peele, there's a Ty West. So he's like somebody that needs a little bit more credit than like to balance out.
Yo, he did You're Next.
You're Next?
Yeah. I looked up Ty West movies, and You're Next is one of them, and I fucking love You're Next. No, wait, this is Adam Wingard. How is Ty West connected to this? What is this bullshit?
I don't know. You're Next. I'm not familiar with that.
You're Next is a fantastic movie. Anyway, Ty West.
Ty West did The Innkeepers, and I guess the one that got me on his thing was The House of the Devil. So any old school horror fan would usually, that's a kind of cult movie, like they praise that because it just has a genuine look to like one of those throwaway 80s movies. Like you were gushing over what's his fuck that was doing Malignant, trying to do a throwback movie.
James Wan.
Oh yeah, James Wan.
Watch House of the Devil, and that's more done like.
Is that more throwback?
Or more like authentic throwback, I guess, looking. But anyway, Ty West, and then he did that, and then did In the Valley of Violence with John Travolta, Western, which was but he also did one of the Three Extremes that I liked a lot, that a lot of people didn't think too much, too much. But he's a slow burn guy. He's known for slow burners.
This one felt
This
like a
one was
slow
much
burn.
more of a slow burn. Yeah, much more of a slow burn than X.
It's more along the lines of the Innkeepers. It's very slow burning. And I was worried about that for a while. And then it kicked in and I thought it was fucking good.
I
Which
wonder
one?
if Maxine will be like him going off, and like the other movies were his actual slow burn.
We'll get to that, to Maxine. But um, yeah, I don't know. But Pearl was pretty trippy, and it was definitely a different pace to the X, because X was, yeah, like more party, more group scene. Obviously, for what the movie was, what they were trying to do, film a
Yeah,
porno, and
you could say X gonna give it to you.
No, I wouldn't say
Yes,
that.
no, you would say that.
So X was more in the vein of like a road trip Chainsaw Massacre type horror movie, like homage. And this one was kind of, I guess, Wizard of Oz-ish, kind of old timey, Gone with the Wind-ish. I don't know.
It did have a lot of old timey to it.
Yeah, I liked how they did like the music score with the movie. Like it had that, yeah, I'd say that retro feel to it, I guess. But then, given for what was going on in the movie, um, I guess what the movie was about. But
Yeah, and then not to get into X too much, but a little bit of it since it's a sequel to this movie. Pearl is a character. She's a character as an old lady, and some of the shit that she's going through in X is kind of, I guess, it lays some of the backstory to kind of the way she was. Because we see her as an old lady in X. She's
yes,
probably, I guess, in her 80s or 90s.
because um, that's slight more info to that.
X
X
was
was,
like 70s, and this is like
yes,
1918 or something. So
yes.
60 years plus.
Yeah, X was 79, 1979, and this was 1919,
So
So
about wait,
60.
yeah,
because, yeah, in X, I guess the main character in Pearl is the crazy old lady in X. So this is kind of her origin slash backstory.
Yeah,
And
and
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're aware of this, but I'm not sure if you're aware of this. The main actress Mia Goth played both characters in X. She played Pearl and she played Maxine.
and she reprises her role as Pearl in this movie.
Yes.
Correct, the younger version.
It looks like Maxine.
Yeah,
It's not confusing.
I mean it isn't. I mean it's just kind of weird because I mean like it's like we haven't really talked about X, but like it's not necessary, I guess,
Yeah,
too
that's the
much.
movie after this. But there's like a few little callbacks to, her wanting to become a star, her hatred of blondes, something about youth, a lot of things.
Yes. And I know, as Nick mentioned earlier, it seemed like it was a much smaller cast, and which it kind of gets, because the general premise of the movie is, it's I guess the two parents, the mother of German heritage, her father who seems to be sick with the Spanish flu, or just, I'm not sure
And
exactly what the flu is, but he's pretty much bedridden. He's, well, I'll say, a
yeah, kind
paraplegic,
of a yeah vegetable state almost.
pretty
Yeah.
much. And the main character Pearl, and it's, yeah, 1919. They're on a farm. She's Her mother depends on her a lot to do a lot of the chores around the house, as well as looking after the dad. And Pearl basically wants more to life than living on this farm. She wants out. She's when she takes a bite to the town, she sees movies, and where it's like was it the I guess the female dancers, kind of something you would see in Vegas, and that's kind of her inspiration. That's what she wants to become, and see the world, see the rest of what's out there, and not just be stuck to this farm.
Yeah, that's a big theme that comes across in both movies is escape. And if you're
Yes.
able to escape, I guess your lot in life, maybe.
Yeah. And
But
um a lot of responsibilities dumped on her that she doesn't want, and her German mother is very strict with her. She has rules, responsibilities that she cannot leave the farm, and guess they're in hard times, and they used to have some farm hands, but they don't. And at the same time, the World War I is going on, and she's married, but her husband volunteered or signed up to fight in said war, so she's stuck on the farm, and it's been a very long time since she's heard from her husband, and I guess they kind of as the movie goes on, maybe it seems like he's not coming back one way or another. Like it seems like they kind of maybe apply he's dead, or just it's been months since she's heard from him, and all the while that's not helping her mental health of being stuck on this farm.
And minor spoiler, but we know the husband is. We also see the husband as an old man in X. So I mean, if you've gone into the theater, haven't seen X, and you see this, you know that the husband's going to be alive and make it through it. So, I think his name was Howard.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Nick, what was your take on the movie?
I liked it. I saw it was a different, like I said, it was slow burn more, and I saw a faster paced movie like 2 days ago, so kind of a juxtaposition to that. But I think I liked X better. Just I don't know, I had a lot more going on, a little bit more. I don't know, not monster movie. I would. Well, I guess she was kind of a monster, but she was also just an old woman, like nothing special. So it was more of that like horror monster. Then this was more like a psychological delve into what created her or how she was seemingly always been. Like her mother said, like she saw that in her. This how she was always fucked up and different and just was out to like hurt people if she didn't get her way. So I don't know, it was a different kind of movie, but I enjoyed it. I still, like I say, I still think X was just I don't know, I like that one better.
And
How do you think of it, Obbs?
I enjoyed it. It was definitely a slow burn. There was a scene kind of towards the end where um, Pearl and her sister-in-law have a sit down, and Pearl kind of has this let's call it soliloquy, or just like her moment where she needs to vent, and her sister-in-law will like, well, go ahead and do it, like pretend I'm your husband, and tell me what you want to say or what's on your mind. And at least on film, it looked like it was just one straight cut where she was just unloading her thoughts and um, what she's going through mentally and all that. One things she's kind of done, and I just liked how that was done. And then kind of what made it even more eerie was, I mean, it was the shot was done during the day, but there was no music in the background. It was just her um, laying it all out on the table, I guess. And to me, that just kind of added more to that creep factor. But
Yeah, that was probably the most brutal scene of the movie, really, in
Oh
a
yeah.
psychological way.
yes,
But since we've got home, it's been a couple hours, maybe not even that much, but the movie sticks with me. Like it is like, man, this is like, I don't know, it hits me like I said, I'm kind of a fanboy of Ty West, but man, like I'm appreciating it more and more. Like I love fucking practical horror movies, like, and this was very practical, where you can tell low budget, very easy, like how X, like I was telling my wife, X was just real low budget. Basically, it just take place on that one location mostly, and this is a similar too, but like that's okay as long as you can establish like other stuff to like make it more interesting, or like themes that are like worth like exploring, or themes that are like, oh shit, and make you think or whatever, make you feel something.
yeah,
Because I was worried at first that, man, this is going too slow, and like I imagine a lot of people, especially coming off of X and like horror fans in general, it's going to be polarizing. People are going to be like, "Fuck this! It was too boring, too shit." Like this was more different type of horror. This was like the horror of like reality. I mean, I know it's like not complete like reality. Like some of the shit's like over the top, but just like trying to escape the hand that you're dealt in life. And this is kind of like it goes over to themes, like not good into spoilers yet, but just trying to escape the hand you're dealt in life and hoping maybe even somebody would help take you out and maybe you don't have to get out of that. You don't have to physically do it yourself. Maybe somebody's going to come and do it for you, do that hard work for you. And themes are like, and this is kind of themes that go on in X as well. And it's just that shit where it's like, that's the brutality of like wanting to escape and whether you're able to escape. And I don't know, that's tough. And like you said, the little soliloquy that she did that was pretty brutal. It was pretty tough.
Yeah, and it was very pivotal with that scene because yeah, like throughout the movie, that especially for a type of horror movie, and it does have some blood, not necessarily gore, I guess, kind of blood and gore here and there, but the way they kind of um the music score, it seemed kind of, yeah, like I said, like a vintage or a retro movie, something that would have been done at that time. But for that just to be kind of done raw like that, it was pretty good. I like that scene a lot. It really drove it home with I guess her internal struggles, and um, obviously the character herself, she kind of unravels, but at the beginning you kind of see where, I guess, you kind of get a hint of, I guess, the demons she has or whatnot, but then obviously things derail towards the end of the movie, the second half, I guess. But um, yeah, it was definitely a different type of movie. So curious how everyone else is gonna perceive it or receive it as, because yeah, it's not like the whole TNA and super blood and guts like how X was.
Yeah, and that's some. I know we're not going to focus on X too much, but that's some of the meta commentary that goes on in X as well. Like, yeah, people just want to see the tits and ass and gore, and
Yeah,
X is kind of a commentary on that. But that's, I don't know. That's why I respect this movie a lot. Like just thinking about it, it's like it's almost like they didn't give a fuck, not in a bad way, but just like they're gonna make the movie they wanted to make. They're not gonna feel obligated to have nudity and a shit ton of violence and amp it up since people were like, oh, X went over pretty well. It didn't seem like they felt the pressure to try to overdo that, and they just made the movie they wanted to make.
yeah,
And like I respect it a lot. Like, man, it's like, I don't know. Like they could have made it more gory, more sexy, or more like fast paced and shit. But
but
they didn't, and it didn't seem like they were trying to do it either.
Yeah. It's also interesting how quickly this movie came out because X came out earlier this year. And like they dropped like that whole trailer for Pearl. So I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
had to. No, they had to done it like I guess they did Back to the Future 2 and 3, and how they did like the Toxic Avenger 2 and 3, where they filmed them both at the same time.
Yeah, and then
Or
I know
Kill
I don't know
Bill.
if I don't know if they film. I don't know if when Maxine's coming out because it's coming soon. It didn't say a date. So I wonder if like this was a whole like back to back to back. This whole like you want to watch all of these together. And I guess we'll have to wait for Maxine in the future. But I do want to see how this movie like kind of fits in with when they're all three of them out. Like, do you watch Pearl first? Do you watch X and the actual way they came out? Like, I want to see what the overarching experience is. And again, I don't know, like, because there's the whole like so the Spanish flu's going on, so they have that as the little two line to explain why they're wearing masks because they filmed it during the pandemic.
Yeah, and New
But
Zealand probably some isolated little farm or whatever.
yeah, exactly. So again, and they use the same farm. They might just, I think they either gave it a coat of paint, and like the only other places were like the little church and like the theater. So there's very few like locations. So
Yeah,
So again, I think I heard something where like he said, or it was like someone said that they filmed it like after X, like they had some money left over. So I don't know how true that was, or if it's been a plan this whole time. But it's just really interesting. Like I don't know of any other movies that's done this recently like this. Like we'll have a sequel, and it's coming out this same fucking year.
Yeah, pretty ambitious, and like that's why I'd say, man, it's pretty badass because it's pretty practical. It's not like a high budget explosion movies with all these stunts and everything, but
Yeah.
you don't need that if you make interesting characters.
Oh yeah. Pearl is definitely an interesting character, and just the way the story unraveled and the story was told, and because for being primarily just the three characters, even though the dad he had no lines, he was um, kind of pretty much just a living vegetable.
Yeah, everything was like through his eyes, and he really got to get that out more towards the end. But yeah,
Yeah, and it was still pretty heavy, this especially for Pearl and her responsibilities, and just I guess especially not too much of a spoiler alert when she talked to the projectionist at the theater, and he's kind of told her it's like you only live once, and you're only young once, so definitely want to
yeah,
live your life, and that kind of really changed her perspective on things.
yeah. And it also seems like she's had a couple like quasi opportunities to get out, which was the husband at first, and like since he came from money, and then the husband didn't want to go back to living with like that. He wanted to live on the farm, so that fucked her over there. And then them having their own lives. He went to war, so it fucked her over there. Then she heard this whole climax of the dance, thinking she can at least like go toward the state and get out for a little bit there, but that didn't work out. So it's like just these things. She's constantly trying to escape her life.
And it was a subtle reference because when, like I said, the church, without really giving too much away, but there was like the X marks the spot, and this kind of a mention of like the X factor.
Yeah, the X Factor was mentioned in X too. So yeah, that's kind of been a through line.
There was that common theme.
Yeah. And we get a little bit of pornography.
Yeah.
Just a dash. Stag films.
Uh,
But yes, as Nick has mentioned, at the end of X, there was at the very end of the credits, there was a post scene for the Pearl, and sure enough, at the end of this one, at the credits, there was another very teaser. This was even more of a teaser than the one for Pearl, because like you kind of have a better idea for Pearl, but they show a trailer which is available on YouTube now. Um, I think Augie said they released it the day before, the day of when Pearl was released, but they're hinting of a movie titled Maxine, which is the main character's name from X, and I believe it looks like it's taking place in Hollywood, and it was what 1984, 1985.
1985.
1985. So it looks like it's gonna be shortly after the incident.
X,
Yeah. So
which was 79, so about 6 years.
yes, and
That's-
it'll be
Like I
interesting.
know we're on kind of time constraints here, but
I mean, you guys can keep talking. I'm left to leave. I'm just saying.
um, but are we gonna do spoilers or just want to go over themes? Like I don't want to go like I know
No,
we
you
don't
can
want to
go.
really
You
do
can go.
we don't really want to do a play by play, but while I have you, I want to like I'm interested in your thoughts on certain things
No, go for it.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, spoiler alerts may or may not be, so
for
be warned.
both Pearl and X.
Yes.
Plex.
So like these are the things like that are lingering in my head. Like I said, escape and like you making your own escape and rewatching X again. Like yesterday, I'm not going to talk too much about X, and we could do that some other time, or you can see X at the end of X. Which, like I said, we said both Pearl and Maxine are the same actress, and one is the old lady, and one is the young one with the X factor. Right at the end, when I noticed, like it's weird, like um like I don't know if I want to give too much away for X.
Go
But
for it.
anyway, it's like, well, she shoots at Maxine. Like there's that scene. I'm not even going to talk about it too much, but noticing it the second time around, like just pay attention to mirrors. Like if you watch X again or you want to watch it again, pay attention to mirrors and the significance of mirrors and duality. And at the very end, when Pearl tries to kill Maxine and she shoots at her, and Maxine's able to dodge the bullet, the shot, like if you notice in the background, shoots a mirror. And that's the shit that I'm interested in because it's like they're trying to see like, are these two characters the same character? Are they going to live the same life? Are they going to be stuck in the cycle, or are they going to break free?
Mhm.
And in a weird way, to me, like I always fucking talk about David Lynch, but David Lynch has the Hollywood trilogy, which, or the Los Angeles trilogy, which is Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, and Inland Empire, and they're all about women, like women in trouble. That's like his tagline for these movies. And some of them have positive endings, and some of them have negative endings, or like their fate is positive or negative, like they're able to escape or they're not able to escape.
Mhm.
And Pearl to me kind of has like a Mulholland Drive feel to it, but um and the end, like there's a lot of religious overtones. I don't know if you remember, I don't know how recently, if you revisited X anytime lately, or if you mostly just saw it in the theaters at one time.
It's been a
I
while.
saw that one time.
Yeah.
But you notice, I don't know if you remember that there's like that reverend that's going on a lot throughout the
Yeah, and then it ends up being her mom or his dad, her dad.
yeah, the dad.
Yeah.
And that shit, that like her tagline, Mia Goth's Maxine's tagline in X is, I'm not going to accept the life that I don't deserve,
Yeah.
which is basically the stuff that Pearl is going through. And like even in X, he tells Maxine that we're the same or whatever. You're not no different. You're gonna whatever. So, and I know I'm jumping around and spoiling a shit ton of both of them, but
No, that's fine. Keep going.
in Pearl, Maxine, I mean Pearl, like you said, obviously he's fucking goes crazy and kills certain people. And at least my take is that she decided to sacrifice her life, or not her life, but like to give up on trying to escape in exchange to appease her husband, because her husband wanted to settle down, and maybe her husband was the only one that saw her as something special. Because she always, like, people, she would always freak out when people would look at her, when people would go cold on her, or their things on her would change, or like she said to the one projectionist guy, "Oh, you've gone cold on me."
Mhm.
So she wanted to escape, but she realized that the husband actually cared for her, and obviously we're going to find out that he accepts a lot of weird shit from her by the time they're still together in X. So she kind of didn't break free
Great
from that.
partner, honestly.
Especially since it's like his family and shit.
Yeah, like I know.
But so he accepted her, and she, I guess, she sacrificed, and she I guess, suppressed her fucking craziness enough to stay with him in exchange for that acceptance and that validation. I guess that's also a theme in these two movies, like the validation that's needed, like, unfortunately for most women, for men, that the validation that they need to see that they're worth something.
No.
So anyway, I'm fucking rambling, but at the end of X, I won't give away what happens to the two characters, but Maxine escapes after almost getting shot and the mirror breaking, and she's leaving the farm, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's like, woohoo, fuck yeah, she escaped, right? She's able to get out of this. And she's like saying, she's repeating herself, I will not accept the life that I don't deserve. And at the same time, on the radio, the preacher that's been throughout the thing, we find out is her dad. He ends up saying that shit. He says, like, so that line, I will not accept a life that I don't deserve, was said by her father, the preacher, who had obviously preached it to her. So then to me, that's like a subtle hint or like a thing thematically that all this time that was like a little kind of twist ending that we thinking that she's escaping this and she was able to get away and break the cycle that Pearl is saying you're going to live through the same cycle that I lived through. And we're thinking this whole time throughout the whole movie that that's her mantra, but it turns out it's the mantra that the dad bestowed upon her. So it's furthermore like just putting that thing that she needs a man or that there's a man that's kind of putting that validation in her.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm imagining is going to happen in Pearl. I mean, in Maxine, like, is she going to eventually break free from that or not?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the hell you guys think about that, or if you think,
It'll be interesting because I mean, especially if she's stuck with the whole porn thing and um looks like it's, yeah, again, it's gonna be in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She survived a very traumatic experience, so who knows what type of um what condition she's gonna be in mentally and physically. And then the 80s is full of drugs too. Well, I guess the 70s were too, but
Cocaine and cocaine accessories.
pretty much. So I'm curious how much, if drugs are going to play a major factor, like you said, in any type of male figure.
Yeah.
Um, it'll be interesting.
Now the whole thing though is X and Pearl were both horror movies. Is she gonna continue that? Will she become a murderer? Is there gonna be another threat? Because in X she was defending herself, yet she still played the murderer as well. And in Pearl she plays the murderer, but it's gonna be a different character. So yeah, will she like become some kind of monster just like Pearl, or will she? Yeah, like what is that movie gonna be?
To be determined. They haven't said when Maxine's going to come out, but just, I guess it's one of those coming soon things. But
Yeah. I'm hoping
uh,
December 31st so I can get all these movies in 1 year. That'd be sick.
but is there any other theories or anything that you have, Augie, with regards to the Pearl or X?
well, obviously, like, not obviously, but that's another thing I noticed in X, like, was the music. The music is very, it's not just random. And like Pearl, there wasn't very much like pop music, obviously, because there was no pop music back in the day. But like the music that's used in X is very kind of like it's relevant. Like they did the Fleetwood Mac song about getting old, and at the beginning I can't remember the name of it, but it's like we're not bad people, we're fucking something. I don't know. I'll try to type it in the comments.
Yeah.
But there's a line. It's just saying that like it's just like because that's a comment my wife made in X. Like none of the characters in X are like bad people. They're assholes or anything. Like they're all like everything is like logical to their situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like none of them are deserving like of what happens to them and stuff. And like they all have dimension to that.
It's just,
But I'm trying. Oh, what?
no, it's
Well,
just, yeah, bad.
they already had sin because they made pornography.
That's another theory that I have.
Mhm.
I'm trying to look up the lyrics real quick to the one of the songs. Hold on. But that's another thing too that I was wondering how religion um might play a part um because were these people an ex punished because they were sinful people and this preacher guy like it's going on throughout the thing and we don't really see the preacher but on the TV and it turns out that even though the one they call the church mouse or whatever girl that ends up participating in the porno
Yeah.
like she kind of got corrupted by the Mia Goth X Factor when she watched her have sex with the other guy. Like it kind of does this fucking thing that got her wanting to do it. But then it turns out that Mia Goth or Maxine is still religious because I think at the end she kisses her cross, her crucifix. and she says something like, "Hey, fucking man," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she still repeats that thing, like I said, that
Oh, the
mantra that the
mantra.
death.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if she was spared because of that, and I'm imagining religion is gonna play a part, or like the dad. And god damn it, I'm trying to look up the song and talk at the same time, but I can't.
X came out in March, so it's like
Yeah.
7 months in between.
Nice.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. There are a
But
lot of lives, like religion, being stuck in a life that Maxine escaped her life of being a preacher's daughter to go dance and be in porn, and she escaped the farm too. So she has a lot. She's done the escaping Pearl never did.
Because
well,
that was
has she? It's
Well, yeah, she might be stuck in something else that's much more grander, but she
because
seemingly has done more than Pearl.
that was part of Pearl's soliloquy when she was just kind of venting. She was trying to escape. She was trying to be whatever, but then she was kind of saying that I'm a horrible person. I've done horrible things, and it's just like I'm willing to settle for what I have instead of trying to escape. I'm just gonna make the best of my situation.
Yeah,
And
except in the life she thinks she deserves.
yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily the life she deserves, but she's content with it. It's like this is as good as it's gonna get, so I gotta
Well,
make the
I
most of it.
think she probably thinks she's in hell because like she's been trying to escape this forever, and like she hates it. So I would assume she almost like her penance.
yeah, exactly. That's how I would view it. And that's when like you're saying that like Maxine with the escape theory. Like I don't think she has escaped. And like I said, music. And I kind of got the lyrics up here. Maxine, the song that they decided to use for the teaser was "My Obsession," the '80s song, and I don't think it's just like accidental,
Yeah,
but it's like, let me see. You're an obsession. I cannot sleep. I'm your possession. And I will have you. Yes, I will have you. I'll find a way and I'll have you. You're an obsession. Who do you want? Who do you want me to be to make you sleep with me? You are an obsession. So I'm predicting that Maxine, hopefully, like I said, like David Lynch has his Hollywood trilogy. It's about, let's see if she can escape that or find that empowerment to where she can find peace, whether it be making porno, but whether she can realize that she doesn't need, I guess, like she could take validation, she can give herself her own validation in life. I don't know. So I imagine there's going to be themes probably with that and her father, and themes with other men, and it's gonna, like, to me this was like a horror movie, but not a horror movie. Pearl, and like I don't know, like did it feel like that to you? Like it was kind of like, I know you said it was a horror movie, but it's not like a hardcore traditional horror movie. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's less like I said, it has more like psychological elements. You want mental state decay over the course of the movie.
yeah, no, I agree. It had the horror elements, but yeah, it's not your typical slasher
Feels
movie.
like a little bit more like American Psycho. Not fully, obviously, but elements.
Mm.
And then it
I
ends with an
guess.
axe.
Yeah, with psychopath. I guess I would say Pearl was a psychopath, or
Yeah.
but I found that it was interesting. Like I do imagine a lot of people that are just horror like hounds and tits and ass, and maybe like X because it had nudity and there was pretty cool killings, are not gonna like Pearl.
Yeah,
And like I can see that. Like I can't completely say, oh, you're fucking stupid. Like I know I had the feeling too that it was very slow going, but I felt like it, after it was all said and done, that it was worth it. But I mean, while it was happening, it felt like, oh shit, is he gonna be able to? Is he gonna be able to make it all work out? And that's debatable, I guess, on how you, on who you are and how you see the movie. But For me, it did. It all paid off.
Yeah, same. I mean, I went with an open mind. I was not going to be disappointed, and it was a different movie than X, but it was still a well done movie. I didn't go in expecting the same type of movie, but I mean, obviously there was the red trailer, and it showed some highlights of some death and murder and explosion, what have you, but that wasn't the whole movie itself, and it was a slow burn, and yeah, like the whole soliloquy part, that was kind of towards the very end, probably like the last 20 minutes of the movie, and
Yeah, that was awesome. Like I don't know, that was pretty like that was a gut punch.
yeah,
And it's just about the escape too, and like I was talking to my wife too, like she managed to like like again spoilers, like she was physically in a altercation with her mother, and the mother caught fire because they were fighting near the fireplace, and she ended up burning to death. But she was able to forgive the mom. Like she had this resentment towards the mom, or maybe not necessarily forgive the mom, but once all this self-realization happened to her, Pearl, I mean, um, she went down and hugged the mom's burnt up corpse, and she realized that the mom and like that they were like she was in the same cycle that the mom was in, and that she told Maxine that Maxine is in, and we're going to find out if she breaks free from that or not. But she told the mom, "I understand that you were just scared. Like the mom was scared because she was German, and World War I is going on, and World War II is going to happen in a couple of years, and she's just kind of scared of the world and the diseases and getting sick and stuff like that." And the mom kind of held Pearl back, and wasn't like any type of mom that was worth a damn. But Pearl came to the realization that, like, okay, I understand. I don't accept why you do it, or I don't forgive you, but I understand why you did it. She came to that realization, and I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm like, I don't know. It just adds depth to this character, and it's like it's not necessarily gory or horror, and it like it's, but it's dimension. I don't know.
yeah, and because yeah, at the end, I guess when you said she's having that realization, she kind of has that. I would say call it the Last Supper, but she's kind of making peace with what she had, or maybe what she destroyed, or I guess what was holding her
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Like they were all trapped. Like even like I was telling Nicholas, like on the way home, like the dad kind of was like she was more got along with the father. I mean, she had to take care of the father. The father wasn't verbal or any type of anything, but the father was also trapped because he was literally just trapped in his body. Like he was just a soul trapped inside its body because he couldn't move. And
Mm,
it's like Pearl was very much like that. Like, or she wanted to escape and she couldn't escape, or she had she couldn't break free her own self. Like she couldn't make the realization that she didn't need the husband, or she didn't need the producer. Like how the projectionist told her, "Hey, you could just leave. New York is just down the road. You can just take off whenever you want."
yeah,
But I guess she wanted that love as well. She wanted that love and acceptance and the ability to be free, which I guess is not really asking all that much. But the husband was able to give her the love, but maybe not the world.
yeah. The not the life she wanted, I guess,
Yeah,
initially.
which is sad, and that's kind of like, like, wow, I just wanted to see a fucking horror movie, you know?
Yeah,
I just wanted tits and ass.
Exactly. Like that's like the like that's what's kind of funny about the meta commentary about like the movies, where it's like, and then an actually gives us the old people fucking, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm giving it all to you, man.
yeah, yeah. They could have cut that scene a little shorter, or at least like, okay, we get the
I feel like
idea.
they could have extended it.
I'm with you on that one, Nicholas. It could have gone more. And that's what's I don't know. That's what I appreciate of Badass with fucking X2, and then the husband he ends up just having a heart attack a little bit like a little while later inside the house just because of the shooting and everything. He doesn't get shot or anything hardcore happened to him. He just fucking has a heart attack and he just dies. So I was
I
like,
think it was also because of that sex. Yeah, I mentioned that my
yeah,
heart can't take it.
but that's badass. So it's like, oh fuck, he just died. Like he didn't jump in front of a bullet or he didn't
Yeah,
like anything. Like it just that's also like a theme, like old age and shit.
Yeah.
it just happened. But it'll be an interesting trilogy. I think they'll stop at three, or you think they're gonna try and go for more? Or...
Yeah, hopefully
Nah,
at 3, yeah. Seems like a
and I
trilogy.
imagine it'll probably be in since it's in the '80s. It's probably going to be in the vein of the slasher movies.
Possibly. Well, yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be about an obsessed fan. That's what it is. The song "My Obsession."
Maybe.
Yeah,
That'd be
But
interesting.
I was worried. Like I didn't want. Like I was like, oh fuck, this is like almost like I've never seen beyond Terminator 2, and this was the other Predator was the first Predator I've seen since Part 2, and I haven't seen like I don't know a bunch of these other fucking movies.
Yeah.
I was like, man, or the Matrix, like how like the Matrix, like you can argue if you were to push the button where the Matrix would just end after the first one, would you push it and there would be no sequels?
Yeah. You push that button every time.
I know, but then there's little bits here and there in some of the other ones that are like, yeah, that
little
wasn't too bad.
nuggets.
Yeah, but are those nuggets really worth it?
Yeah,
But I didn't mind after this. I did like it, and like I liked it a lot. And I know a lot of people aren't gonna like it because it's gonna be too slow, and I can't argue that it wasn't too slow.
I,
But I think there's some deep stuff in there.
I, yeah, it is. It is slow, but I think the pace was very fitting for this movie and the story it was telling for Pearl's character. I think it was
Well,
very
yeah, and
well.
then it's fucking a Ty West movie. All his movies are fucking slow burn movies, and like X was very slow burning at the beginning too. Like it didn't not till maybe the halfway through, maybe a little more than stuff started. I mean, you had nudity and stuff, but the violence didn't start until like maybe the last third of the movie, maybe, or maybe a little bit sooner.
Yeah. No.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm interested in mixing.
Yes. So
See through.
I'll take it to check out Pearl. Yes, no, yes, no for the viewers.
Totally.
Yeah, it depends on you have to adjust your expectations.
Oh yeah. Well, slow burn for sure.
Yeah,
And it does give you a
and
little bits of gore.
yeah, but even at that, like
Oh no, it's not bloodbath, but there's a
it's
that
not
little,
to me, it's not horror movie gore. I mean, I guess it's I don't know, like it.
the bits at the end there were a little bit.
Yeah, but
I don't know, Death by
I don't know. I
Pitchfork.
like it. Yeah,
But yeah, this
uh,
wasn't your Evil Dead style
No, it wasn't
tons of blood or
bloodbath.
anything like that.
It wasn't that. But it was
and
good. It was good for what it was. It was good for the experience of like a different kind of horror movie than you were expecting, maybe.
it's elevated horror. That's the buzz word for these
Farty
movies.
horror.
Yeah, these A24 movies,
Oh,
He's-
really?
elevated horror.
Is that what Midsummer was?
Yeah,
It comes
I
at
so
a
like
don't want to watch Midsummer again. I feel like I didn't give it a fair shake.
yeah, I would definitely, but I think that I can appreciate that shit. Like just throwing in like, and I know that's kind of some of the meta commentary and fucking X. It's possible to make a dirty movie, a good dirty movie,
Oh yeah.
which is like saying it's possible to make a good horror movie. Like it's possible to like. So I don't know. So I appreciate that.
yeah. No, it's good. I wouldn't mind rewatching it again, and obviously once it comes out for sale, buy the movie and check it out.
Check out House of the Devil. That's
I,
a good one.
I did write that down. I'll try to link a trailer to that movie in the description. But yeah,
It
so
feels like one of those old movies as a kid we would see on like fucking Fox at night, KBB, when they would show their just fucking The
Weekend
Pit would come
Horror,
on, and yeah, Billy Bob, what's his
Joe
name?
Bob Briggs.
Joe Bob Briggs. But it's not like a hardcore gory movie, but it just looks like
Yeah.
a fucking movie. And the camera, I mean, I don't shut up, but man, the camera work is fucking awesome in X, and it's pretty good in Pearl as well. But I love, and he does that pretty good too in House of the Devil, the camera movement and stuff.
Hmm. How come you don't have this much nice things to say about Jordan Peele?
Yeah, it's kind of so
Yeah,
the camera work was great in Nope. I don't know what you're talking about.
him and John Krasinski, the next Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese. And
When can we get the Nope, Get Out, fucking Quiet Place crossover? The Augie's favorite movie.
uh,
But
I don't know. Don't get me started on that.
It's a quiet Get Out.
Get out. You're too
Mr.
loud. It's a quiet place. And
Nope.
then, yeah.
but
All right.
I think we're good at wrapping this up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening. It was great. You heard our thoughts on Pearl. To hear our thoughts on X, did we make a next video?
Not yet.
It's going to be the sequel, prequel. We'll do it after Maxine comes out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll make a next video, and you can find it in the link below when we do that. We probably forget about that. Anyway, it's been a great time. We've been joined today by Augie the Froggy,
Hey,
Obsolete 2003,
Yo.
and me, Nickolas Zombie. And if you're looking for escape, maybe check out Pearl. And then you won't find that escape. You'll actually be forced to look at your inner self and the things that you never did. Have a good night, everyone.